Good morning, good day, good evening, everyone. It is Lazy Sunday. The family here has gone, I mentioned that yesterday, to the county that I actually live in, most of the time have lived in for over 20 years, to visit my son in law's family. Uh, and it's been great. I got to read the whole front. Um, then I got other things done. When you get when you're by yourself, you get so much stuff done. It's great. And I was tuckered out. Oh, and my hand was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I started weeding and I could tell my hand was going to sleep. I'm going, oh wow, this isn't going to last long. And I just kind of pushed through it, and suddenly my hands were fine, and I went on. Yes, I mean, it was a lot. I was out there for about 2.5 hours, and I loved it. I just loved it. You just sit there. I didn't have any earplugs in. Okay, I don't do that anyway. With music, or had music going. Otherwise, I just sat out there and soaked up the just me. Sitting on the ground, gently going through all the grass was about this high within all the sunflowers and other plants that were there that, you want to have there. And I heard a interesting thing that you can eat grass. I'm going, grass? Okay, well, grass is also considered wheat, corn, oats. Okay. But yeah, you can. But the cellulose in grass, when it gets older, is too hard to digest for a human system. So you don't get much out of it, right? Yes. Still, there's some vitamins and minerals, very small traces in it, right? Just in case. Oh yeah, make sure that it isn't the lawn that has been, has fertilized, has been treated with chemicals and stuff. Anyway, but it's not suggested. The young shoots, yeah, you could, I was thinking, wow, that would make a good addition to smoothie if, right? Turns out that, yeah, it's not really suggested to eat just grass or for several reasons. Okay, but not all of them are edible. Yes. Uh, it seems like more so because of the indigestibility of it. Uh, so that was interesting to read up on. And I read up on something else. So this one brother in faith, he posted, Joe, he posted that it actually, science found out that the egg of the woman at conception can choose, the sperm. That it isn't, as science has thought so of in the past, that it is the fastest sperm, right? Yes, of the man that makes it to the egg and can penetrate through and whatever. That actually the woman's egg, or her system, when it comes to reproduction, there's a chemical that can reject certain sperms. Yeah, isn't that something? And chooses who to let in. I find that amazing, phenomenal. Uh, Coming from the faith belief that I do, there are people who believe that woman is still a lesser being. Yeah, believe it or not. And okay, so why would I be? Well, because it's just some. They have splintered off. Yeah, we believe in true parents. Now that True Mother is the one still alive, we follow True Mother, and it's amazing. As a woman, I love it. I can see that if people really truly accept a woman, yes, as the the leader on earth here right now. Yes, as the mother of all mankind. As we had the son of man, we now have the daughter of man. Yes, mankind, humans. Yeah. I find that absolutely wonderful. And I hope that, yeah, in the next generations to come, the abuse that women and girls have gone through history, right? Yes, even now, with the desires of men, that will start to fall away as we are being recognized as women as an equal part to man. Yes? All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. And here, huh? So, I know that I'm very critical. I'm a bit harsh sometimes when I talk about what I read in the Bible and then give my comment to it. Yes? But again, how much is not quite right in here? How much has been given in a way that men want it to be given and not actually consider God's will and ideal when it comes down to it? Yes? And again, a little story like, oh yeah, no, my womb, my egg did choose my children. It wasn't just, yes, again, I am just the host. Come on, whoever is the fat. It's not like that. There is a give and take happening, and I love that. Yes? Okay. So, science was wrong in the past. Now they're figuring out so many more things. They're being right. The science of the horse, by the way, has also been disputed. Yes? Yeah? Not all of it is right either. So, it's good. And I am proud of the people out there who are willing, first of all, to even release that kind of information. And I'm proud of the people who acknowledge, oh, that was wrong. We have to change that idea, that attitude. Because it was wrong. It wasn't right. Why stick with a wrong when the right thing can be had? The right information can be had. Kind of interesting. Why would people stick to something that's been proven wrong? When I went in and I said, okay, does the egg of a woman choose the sperm? And the first thing was, is it true or false? I asked. The first thing came up, that statement is true. Right? That statement is true. Oh, wait. I said, egg of woman chooses sperm. Right? A man's sperm. And it came up as the first sentence, that statement is true. All right. We are in a new book. Yay, we're done with the book of wisdom, which in my opinion didn't have much to do with wisdom. So, unless we want to call everything in history from the past wisdom, right? Yes? A little history lesson. And it seems like we were given it according to how someone wanted to give it. Maybe not necessarily the truth. So we are in the book of Ecclesiasticus, not Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiasticus. And here's the foreword. Ben Sira called, oh, it's a guy. I did not know that. Ben Sira called Ecclesiasticus in the Greek translation, the wise and perceptive scribe of Jerusalem, writes movingly of the chief loves of his life. The chief loves of his life, the law and the temple liturgy. He also shows a touching devotion to the great figures of Israel's past. He gives us a pithy collection of reflections, mostly on worldly wisdom, good behavior, tact, and good sense. But he insists that wisdom comes from God. mediated through the law. He always has death, the moment of reckoning, before his eyes, though he gives no clear teaching about the afterlife or what the reward for good deeds will be. The wisdom of Ben Sira was originally written in Hebrew, but as the foreword says, it was translated into Greek by the author's grandson in 132 BC. It is this translation which is accepted as Ecclesiasticus. Though sizable fragments of the original Hebrew text have recently been discovered, Ben Sira wrote about 190 to 180 BC. Oh, so what we have in here is only partial. So some stuff has been taken out. So we're not getting the whole thing again, right from the start. But at least they're letting us know. Oh, does that matter to most people? Because they're not going to think about it or think and look at it as I do, right? There are going to be missing pieces. They have not been added to the Bible. Why not? Oh, one can't take things away. It's, you can't take away from the Bible or add anything to it. That's not true. The Bible is considered books, many books. And only in the last one, which I don't care if they even leave Book of Revelation out, because I think that's a humbug book anyway, is that the case, supposedly. And who made that decision? I'm just asking. Yes? Anyway, who decided? You can't add anything to it or take away from it. So in this book, in Ecclesiasticus, why not add? Well, if you have found the rest of the stuff, why not add it in future Bibles? Huh? Fill in loopholes or yes, I can't remember the word in English. Well, anyway, so there you go. Also, why don't they just call him Ben Sira? Why Ecclesiasticus? How did that happen? Well, who knows? All right, let's get going. Sounds good. Sounds like a guy that's really given some thought to whatever. But again, so a whole book is dedicated to one guy that may or may... Wow, it's a long one too. That may or may not have had some good stuff to say. Wow, that's a big... Wow, all the way to 51. It's going to be a long one. Well, let's hope it'll be worth reading it. Note, the numbering of the verses is based on a Latin text, which included... So we got Greek, Hebrew, and Latin. Wow, okay. Which included several additions to the original. Oh, in some cases, whole verses are missed out in this edition. Okay. Ecclesiasticus, translator's foreword. The law, the prophets, and the other writers succeeding them have passed on to us great lessons, in consequence of which Israel must be commended for learning and wisdom. Really? All right. That's interesting. And I could see that being true, that this would be true if, in a way, when it comes to, when Israel became God's people, God had all these tribes, had them segregated out into all these tribes, of which one of them were the Levites, right? Yes? And they were what exactly? What amongst the Israelites? The guides of faith, right? Yes? According to God's will and ideal, to all the people. They didn't inherit anything. They were supposed to be among the people, making sure, oh, wait a minute, wait, what are you doing? Does this go along with the Ten Commandments, with the covenant that we have with God? Let me explain it to you again, right? The overseers of faith, one could say, yes? Of course, in a kind way, not, oh, you picked up sticks on a lazy Sunday, let's punish him and put him to death. That ain't the way to go, right? Okay, I'm just saying. So when you look at in here on how this is mentioned here about the Israelites, in today's, if things would have gone right at that time, what's it say again? In consequence of which Israel must be commended for learning and wisdom. Really? Like what? Like where exactly? Learning and wisdom, huh? Because if that were true, if that was actually happening at the time, well, then one could look up to Israel. What would Israel be to the rest of the world right now? What the Levites were to the Israelites. Israel would be the one to look towards when one looks for what? Spiritual guidance and the belief in God's ideal will and ideal would be fulfilled coming first and foremost from overseers from Israel over the rest of the people of the world. Yes? In what way exactly? Bombing people? Having conflict, constant conflict over some territory or whatever? Really? I'm just saying. Okay? Israel isn't in all this alone. But that would be, if that really would have been the case, that Israel really, what had been so good at the time when it came to all that, then what would we be seeing Israel being in today's world? Yes? Okay, just saying. Yeah. The people of Israel would be the spiritual guides all around the world. I'm sure, if one were to ask the Israelites, so would you be willing to take on the job that actually God initially gave to the Israelites, first to one of your tribes, and then as a whole to the rest of the people in the world? I guarantee you most Israelites will say, hell no. So, exalting a people for not actually having done what they should have done, what they were chosen to be, is not helping. Hey, they can do whatever they want. I'm just saying, what are we already starting out here with? Furthermore, it is a duty not only to acquire learning by reading, but also, once having acquired it, to make oneself of use to people outside by what one can say or write. Haven't even read that yet. What did I say beforehand? My grandfather Jesus. Wasn't this written before Christ? BC is before Christ. Oh, wait. Another translator? Okay, this was later on by the grandson. Yes, okay. My grandfather Jesus. Wow, wait a minute. That's interesting. That would mean that if my grandfather Jesus, was there somebody else named Jesus at that time? Whoa, what are we learning here? Having long devoted himself to the reading of the law, the prophets, and other books of the fathers, and having become very learned in them, himself decided to write something on the subjects of learning and wisdom, so that people who wanted to learn might, by themselves, accepting these disciplines, learn how better to live according to the law. Wow, what is that? Is this some kind of a weird translation here? My grandfather Jesus. Ooh, what did we just find? Did we? I gotta go and check that out. I want to go and find out. What was that all about? What is that? On the subjects of learning and wisdom, so that, okay, blah, 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 blah. You are therefore asked to read this book with goodwill and attention. Oh, condition right there. Read it with goodwill and attention. So I don't get to say really anything. Is that just a suggestion? Why give that suggestion? That's like leading the reader, right? Yes? No, you don't think so? And to notwithstanding our efforts at interpretation, we may seem to have failed to give an adequate rendering of this or that expression. The fact is that there's no equivalent for things originally written in Hebrew when it is a question of translating them into another language. What is more, the law itself, the prophets, and the other books differ considerably in translation from what appears in the original text. I like to say something here, especially to some people who may or may not watch this video after I share it to a group on Facebook. And that is, did you just hear what it says in here? Yes, as far as I know, it is very difficult to give an adequate and exact translation from Korean to any other language. And that oftentimes the way things were translated that True Father said, and even True Mother says, is not correct in its context. Said that. It says right here in the Bible, forgive that and know that that is possible and most likely occurring. So unless one actually speaks and learns the language of which the original text comes from, one should be very careful before one judges or just believes every doggone word that has been translated. Had my say. All right, let's keep going. Oh, you know what, Ecclesiasticus? I think you and I are going to get along very well. It was in the 38th year of the late King Euergetes that coming to Egypt and spending some time here and finding life here consistent with a high degree of wisdom, I gotta hurry up. I became convinced of an immediate duty to apply myself in my turn with pains and diligence to the translation of the book that follows, and I spent much time in learning on it in the course of this period to complete the work and to publish the book for the benefit of those too who, domiciled abroad, wish to study, to reform their behavior and to live as the law requires. That should be right up my alley because that's what I teach, right? Yeah, okay. At least I feel like I do. 1. A collection of Super Chapter 1, a collection of maxims. The origin of wisdom. 1. All wisdom comes from the Lord. She is with him forever. Here we go again. She. The sands of the sea, the drops of rain, the days of eternity, who can count them? The height of the sky, the breadth of the earth, the depth of the abyss, who can explore them? Well, we know now some of them. Wisdom was created before everything. Prudent understanding subsists from remotest ages. For whom has the root of wisdom ever been uncovered? Oh, question mark. Her resourceful ways, who knows them? One only is wise, terrible indeed, seated on his throne, the Lord. It was he who created, inspected, and weighed her up, and then poured her out on all his works, as much to each living creature as he chose, bestowing her on those who love him. Okay, that's a selfish way of... Okay, you know what, I'm not going to go there. Let's just keep going. The fear of God. The fear of the Lord is glory and pride, happiness and a crown of joyfulness. Oh, the fear of the Lord is described here. And it's described in a way that we do not understand fear. Well, I need to get going. The fear of the Lord, The fear of the Lord gladdens the heart, giving happiness, joy, and long life. Again, is it accepting the Lord? Is the fear? It doesn't make sense. Not when we're reading it in today's word. Fear means something. It has a definition. And I don't think that fear here in the Bible means the same thing. Let's go by that. For those who fear the Lord, all will end well. On their dying day, they will be blessed. The basis of wisdom is to fear the Lord. She was created with the faithful in their mother's womb. She has made a home in the human race, an age-old foundation. Oh, that's an interesting. She was created with the faithful in their mother's womb. That's an interesting one, isn't it? If you think about it. The Holy Ghost. Wisdom is wisdom, actually referred to here, because there wasn't. Who's the Holy Ghost? Nobody knows what the Holy Ghost is. Oh, did the Holy Ghost come into being? Oh, I was going to check that out. When did that come about? I think that did not come about until the Catholic Church, which would mean after Jesus' death, right? Yes? But they knew there was something else then. Something was there. So in a way, it did already exist, right? That third part of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Oh, interesting. I'm trying to unite with this dude here, as you guys maybe get. She has made a home in the human race, an age-old foundation, and to their descendants will she faithfully cling. The original mind. The fullness of wisdom is to fear the Lord. She intoxicates them with her fruits. She fills their entire house with treasures, and their storerooms with her produce. The crown of wisdom is to fear the Lord. She makes peace and health flourish. The Lord has seen and assessed her. He has showered down knowledge and intelligence. He has exalted the renown of those who possess her. Ooh, got more to go. Oh! The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and her branches are long life. Sounds a bit the same as in the Book of Wisdom. Okay, let's keep going. Patience and self-control. The rage of the wicked cannot put him in the right, for the weight of his rage is his downfall. A patient person puts up with things until the right time comes. Can't disagree with that one. But his joy will break out in the end. Till the time comes, he keeps his thoughts to himself, and many a lip will affirm how wise he is. I've said this before, and I have to remind myself, be ready, right? Be ready. When your time comes on the side of righteousness, be ready to give the proper explanations. Be ready. Have learned and enough knowledge that you can withstand, yes, the arguments against, for example, the second coming, and how that's going to work and how it is working. Yes? Okay. Wisdom and uprightness. Wisdom's treasuries contain the maxims of knowledge. Let me bring up just quick. Or, when someone asks, so explain God, be ready. One does not have to go out and say a whole bunch to, all right, what am I doing here? Hey, that's my channel. Constantly arguing because one knows in one's heart to mind it is the right thing. That is the right thing. This is not going to lead to happiness. But the people argue against it. They want it the way they want it, just like with the Israelites, right? And wanting a king. God had to step back. Then you have to step back. If you can't, if they haven't learned, if they're not willing to learn, right? Yes, and acknowledge God, then you have to step back first. And then, when they get truly interested, be ready to have the guidance for them. Yes? Okay. Wisdom's treasuries contain the maximum of knowledge. The sinner, however, holds piety in abhorrence. If you desire wisdom, keep the commandments. There you go. And the Lord will bestow it on you. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and what pleases him is faithfulness and gentleness. Do not stand out against fear of the Lord. Do not practice it with a double heart. Do not act apart in public. Keep watch over your lips. Do not grow too high and mighty, for fear you fall and cover yourself in disgrace. For the Lord would then reveal your secrets and overthrow you before the whole community, for not having practiced fear of the Lord and for having a heart full of deceit. Again, I'm not going to tell whoever is full of deceit out there or not. I think people know that themselves full well. So, right? Yes? Okay. Well, whew, I made it, but I got to finish up quickly. Interesting, but that was a long one. Tomorrow's a shorter one. More time to talk. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, and embrace you with love. Eldridge, my brother in faith, I love you. Let's keep praying for our soldiers out there. Yes, to lay down their arms and make them into plowshares. And I will talk to you all another time.